Okay, we talked about how to plan a hybrid cloud, how to build a hybrid cloud. Now let's talk about how we operate a hybrid cloud. So three key components here, including components of a hybrid cloud ops, understanding your own requirements, and of course, keep learning. Let's talk about components. So if we're going to do hybrid cloud ops, we need to deal with service management and cloud operational models. So one of the things that you need to do is plan in terms of how you're going to operate your system. So in other words, how you're going to manage your services, who's in charge of managing services, automated tools, skill sets that are needed. All these sorts of things need to be thought of. And that includes creating a cloud operational model in terms of how we're going to approach cloud operations, in this case, hybrid cloud operations. Then there's a list of technologies that we need. Governance, the ability to bill either to customers or within departments in your own organization, meaning chargebacks and showbacks, the ability to do auditing, the ability to do logging, so we're basically tracking what's being changed, and also the ability to escalate issues that pop up in terms of how we're operating the system. And in other words, if we're finding problems and we're running into issues such as performance problems or security issues or governance problems, then how we're able to escalate that to people who can fix it very quickly. And then finally, organizational playbooks and training. So in other words, we're going to have a skills deficit. In other words, we're moving into a hybrid cloud model where different skills need to be brought to bear in terms of how we're operating the system. So organizational playbacks and training in terms of how we're going to look at the differences between our as-is state and the to-be state in terms of who needs to be trained and what skills need to be acquired are built within the organization. So understanding your requirements. So let's understand our hybrid cloud operations requirements. So first and foremost, we need to have links with DevOps. This is about development and operations. So ultimately, we really can't separate the two. So they have to be tightly coupled. There has to be a free flow of communications and the ability to, in essence, communicate to the developers what the operational issues are, and for the developers to communicate to operations what the development issues are. Also, we need SecOps, or security operations, the ability to understand proactively how to update our security systems based on new security threats that are appearing out on the horizon all the time. And so we have to keep understanding that security is not something that can be passive. It has to be active in understanding what the existing threats are and reacting to the threats. Next, governance operations, the ability to place governance systems around the hybrid cloud operations to ensure that we don't not go over throttles in terms of running off the guardrails, in terms of how we're leveraging processing and storage. So limits have to be placed on those things, and we have to operate within those limits. And these are automatic things that occur within operations so that a developer or someone who's doing operations doesn't necessarily leverage so many resources that they're going to saturate the system and cause issues. And then application operations, the ability to actually peer inside the application. So we can peer inside the infrastructure stuff, such as storage and compute, but we also need the capability of looking inside the applications and looking at what the applications are doing. And then finally, business continuity disaster recovery, putting in redundant systems to ensure that if something disastrous occurs, such as our public cloud goes away or our private cloud goes away, then it's able to fix itself automatically. There's automatic failover routines, and we're able to move into other redundant systems and keep things operating. And then keep learning. So you'll find more about this topic in the next video unit, and urge you to keep going. Learn all you can.